This is the Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado for Traffic Multiplex. And in today's video, I'm going to answer the question, why is SEO important? And for that, we have to consider what SEO is. SEO is search engine optimization. And obviously the first two letters tell you what is important about it. Search engine. This helps your page be better analyzed and sized up by the search engine so that they place you in the appropriate, according to them, ranking in relation to other sources of information. Now, of course, other sources of information has to deal with within your keyword or niche. So when somebody's putting in a search, let's say for purple colored French fries, Google begins to look at their indexes and see what things have been associated with purple colored French fries. This is going to be a struggle in this video to keep together what the keyword was. So with purple colored French fries, it looks for things it has found, web pages on the internet that talk about purple colored French fries, right? But then also it needs to find the pages that talk more about it, and also that have more authority. Other things that, is this a place that we've gone to before for other information? Is this a place that we regarded as being a quality website or an authoritative website before? So it makes calculations based on all of those factors and other things they get from your website, actually, because many of you have Google Analytics. I'm sure that Google does some monitoring on how many people are visiting your site. I'm sure they cross-reference. They have to be cross-referencing with some type of traffic estimation type of things. That's just my guess. I'm not really have any inside knowledge of that, but it would be my guess that that would be some part of an algorithm or ranking process. In either case, the whole issue about getting high in the search page results is that, frankly, people, you do searches on your own on Google or Bing or Yahoo. You actually sitting there through 5, 6, 7 pages of the results. Of course you don't. I mean, unless you got an incredible amount of time. Yeah, I got a few games you should be trying, by the way. But anyway, the most amount of people, the majority, simply go with what they see on the first page. And the truth is that most of them have their Google settings. For example, I'm just going to talk about Google as the biggest one. They have it just to display like 10 results. 10 results on the front page, on the first page. I'm into more research than that, so I've changed my settings. But most people don't do that. Go into Google, change your settings, and I have 100 or whatever is one of the highest. Like, I'm not going to go flipping through pages to look for everything I had to do. It's a waste of time. And also, I use usually an older computer, and the browser just takes a little more time. So I made it shorter by having it load up more, to begin with. So I try to put that misery to at least lower until I can update that computer. And the only reason I don't update it because I have so much of my writings and stuff on it still and needs to be transferred out. So that's another story. But in any case, that's why you want to rank high on your search engine results. The the strategies here are obvious. First of all, um, making your business or your website a niche that has low competition, or that's number one. Number two is trying to capture the keywords that have low competition. So purple colored French fries maybe has like 100 requests a month, which you really shouldn't try to get that niche, obviously. But if it had like 500, 700 searches a month, right? 1,000, right? Then there's low competition. And the key to see that, to verify that, you want to do the search yourself, purple colored French fries, and see what pops up and judge yourself. You can tell by looking at what comes in that Google really doesn't have too much to go with. It's like you've seen some sites that you put in a search term and it only gives you like 2 or 3 things that are really relevant to what you search for, and then everything else is basically like what was the last thing that was posted that had nothing to do with it, right? This is the same thing. Google suffers from the same thing when you have keywords that really don't have much competition, that there's not much material available online for that. But you also don't want to just create stuff like purple colored French fries when no one is looking for purple colored French fries either, or only 100 people in the world are looking for purple colored French fries, and these you're not really interested in grabbing these people who only have their fingers up their nose and and try to talk out their rear end. I mean, what are you going to do with that? I'm being facetious, but it is a fecal thing after all. The thing you got to look at is to get that nice balance between having enough traffic and having less competition. So there's like a sweet area where you want to look at, depending what you're deciding on doing. That's a difference when you're choosing like a niche to make a website on, as opposed to an article on your blog. So there's a little slight differences and adjustments you have to make. But definitely you want to plan your strategy. If you're planning a website, you should plan for these things. You should look at your website in different pieces. The domain name, the name of the website, the main focus of the website, that niche. And then you want to look at the categories. You really need to have this in your mind or write it down on a piece of paper. You need to go after the categories. Categories should be, basic. You're looking keywords. You're just looking for keywords that have enough searches, but again, not a lot of competition. And then you want to go into the articles for each of these categories, and you want to address the keywords that you can find in Google Analytics. You can find the relative keywords for this whatever niche you put in, and whatever main principal keyword for your website. And you can find a lot of articles right there. It gives you article hints. I mean, the keywords and phrases are ideas for articles and series of articles. And basically, you build your website on all of these related keyword phrases that build out what people are interested in the niche that you have chosen. So it's finding the balance between low competition and high enough search volume. And again, there's a slightly different tolerance or level of how low you want to go for your niche, and as opposed to the articles inside themselves. So you have to look at that. You have to really take that into account. And that is a constant thing. So you always want to check that every month or so and make adjustments look at to see what's having some more search volume and why, because then there's things that are seasonal or affected by current events. So you also need to have a little bit of prognostication, a little bit of foresight, and be quick to respond to trends. Any trends that are happening in and around or related, or that you can get related to your keywords, that's the way to go with that. All right, so that you give at least the search engine some things to consider. So, oh, we got some more information about purple-colored French fries, and we see there's purple-colored French fries in Malaysia, purple-colored French fries in France, purple-colored French fries in the USA, and we see the Creole version, and we see the Puerto Rican version, and we see the Hawaiian version. You see, so the search engine begins to see your site as an authority on purple colored French fries. Gee, because there's hardly anyone else that really goes into the details that you have gone into. And look at the YouTube videos about the same thing, and the ones that you refer to on your site, you embed them on your site. These are YouTube videos. So that's something else I can give my search engine searcher. That's what the search engine thinking. And look, there's an infographic, so let me bring that into the search engine result. Look, there's some regular graphics. Let me put that into the search engine. Hey, there's a few podcasts here. Oh, and there's some ebooks here, free ebooks or paid for ebooks. Doesn't matter. It's just another resource that they can go and find it. And also then, oh, here's this other website talking about this website. And there's a few over there and a few over there and some more over there. Talking, look at these Facebook posts and this Facebook group talking about this website. This website must be important. This is the picture of what SEO does. And so as long as you're willing to play that game and it's a job, or that you're willing to throw money out, and I don't mean that negatively, it's business. You want to pay someone to do SEO for you and then to do all of those things, that again is something you have to sit on. You have to make sure it's getting done, and you have to measure the results. I know money-making websites that make their money from SEO, absolutely. So if that's the way you're going to go, that is something that you have to really consider. Now I'm going to talk to you in this video about some solutions that I personally have to this whole issue of SEO and competition and all of that. Because you don't really need to have SEO. You don't need it. If you don't have the money to have people work on it, then you shouldn't be worried about it 100%. You should take some care, put in a plugin that does things automatically, like make some relevant searches for some videos that are relevant to what you're talking about. Give the search engine something to chew on. Something, obviously do some meta tagging. Some people say it's no longer really used. I think it's no longer helpful if there's thousands of people doing the same thing. That's true. But if you're in a niche that is, again, purple colored French fries, I think putting it in your meta tag really does make a difference. It helps the robot. It doesn't have a brain, but it has a specific job to do. I think it'll help you. He takes a look at it and says, oh, this must be something that the one I'm looking for exactly. I think I hit, there's something here. Again, anything that helps it find its way and know that this is the site of purple colored French fries, this is all going to help. So again, you can do simple things to make simple SEO work on your site, even the things I talked about. But if money is an issue for you, then there's another strategy. The problem with the SEO, there's one big, massive problem, And that massive problem is that after you spend money and or effort, which is the same thing, time and effort, Google changes its animal, right? It changes the algorithm, meaning that, yesterday you may have been on page 1 and getting all this nice traffic from Google, but then now you find yourself on page 5, and then next week on page 10, as they go changing. And they're doing this on purpose. I long ago decided not to deal with Google any longer. Simple. I'm not going to play that game, and I'm not going to spend money to optimize my site only to have all that money thrown in the garbage because Google decided to change the animal it's doing it to. So they're not going to do it to me, and they never have. I didn't allow them to do it. So I've worked all my years in internet marketing off of free traffic. I have only done free traffic. I've tested and tried paid for traffic, and the whole process, frankly, is so time consuming for me. I mean, for a person who has a job to do, has other things to worry about and take care, and classes to prepare and other things, that's what I do. It just doesn't make any sense. So I dedicated myself to free traffic and to developing branding. I've used other methods to compensate for the lack of SEO competitive strategies that most people are trying to do. Again, how many people are trying to compete for this keyword? There's only 10 showing up on the page on most browsers. 10 people. Can you imagine how many hundreds of people are fighting for page 1? That's an active battle going on for page 1. And sometimes the same SEO expert is doing the other client too. You guys got to get a little smarter here. It's like a game. It's a never-ending income that they're deriving from all this SEO, because you have to keep it going. And of course, especially when they pull the rug out from under you. So I decided to get my business on strategies that I control, and that is, of course, free organic traffic. So I suggest that if money is an issue for you, you should look into free traffic, and you really don't need to look into anything other than traffic multiplex. But before I go there, because some of you have already heard the story, but I have something else you may not have heard of, and that is inodal.com. Inodal.com is a research search engine. A research search engine that I have created. I have a special idea about inodal, which you won't see on the website, by the way. You won't see it on that search engine because I'm keeping it here. This is only for me and investors to know about. But I'm putting up something that is slightly different than a regular search engine. And the purpose really is to help somebody who needs to do research on a certain, and I'm talking about very, very serious research. I'm talking about your typical person that just needs that little bit more information and facility to record information and to extract it and to use it. So I made the inodal research engine to help that person, help a student out with their homework, basically help somebody mention something on Facebook, and and you feel like you don't know enough about that, then inodal would be someplace to really get educated on that. Something like a more search engine type of Wikipedia, but it's not as content rich. Well, in terms of text, that Wikipedia mostly gives you text. The inodal will give you more content and less text, really no text, but will resource Wikipedia, um, will be put in as a one of the references for most everything that applies to that, and you can get out of that. And basically, it gives you a general options and different ways of looking into and researching that topic, whatever the keyword was. So why do I mention inodal? I mention inodal because other than unlike, I should say, Google and the other search engines that are have their platform based on searching the web and just bringing you your keyword search throughout the web, inodal seeks to teach you, to teach the user, to bring to the user some materials and content that will give them a little better understanding of what they're dealing with. Okay, and so because of that, inodal provides you and your website, your needs, a special opportunity. Inodal only presents a set number of links on its search engine result page. There's not page 2, page 3, that is not happening on inodal. There's only page 1. And what that gives you an opportunity for is for you to be on page 1, because we are not bothering with searching the internet for people trying to struggle to get on to page 1 on Google, or could care less. But we are looking for people, for web resources that provide the information, adequate information for people who are doing a research on that keyword. So this gives you the opportunity to participate with inodal and get your site indexed by inodal. We won't go and do it independently. You will need to contact us, and we will then index your site. It's like an advertising package. We will index your site, and that will show up on the keyword search for users to see and consider when they search your keyword on the inodal platform. The inodal platform also offers you a search engine ranked page. In other words, first page. You can reserve the first page, which is the only page on inodal, for your website, for your business, whatever it is. You can reserve that keyword phrase, and when somebody puts in your keyword phrase that you've reserved, a a page will show up just like any other search engine page at inodal. However, everything on there will be provided by you, by your business, by your website. If it's a product, or you're selling a product relative to the search term, you can have your sales video show up right on the search page and start playing, almost the same as your landing page. And so people won't have to go anywhere to your landing page. You're showing people your offer right at inodal, so they're not moving any place until they're going to buy. And as I just indicated, they will buy right through that inodal SERP page. So that is an option that you have in terms of getting on page 1. And you don't have to worry about Google and other competitors or anything, because you just froze them out of the inodal. At least there's one engine that you can dominate. Now, when you're doing a business, dominating at least one source of traffic, I think, is a great strategy. I think that is the best thing you can do if you're given the opportunity to monopolize. Because that's what made the rich people rich back in the day. Monopolies. That's why you got the game Monopoly. Because that's what made that old money. That's old money in the United States and in the world. But that money was created through things that are right now illegal, lotteries and monopoly, which is now they go against all monopolies, right? And they don't allow you to run your own lottery. Now the government runs the lottery, but you can't, right? But that's where the old money came from. But now you can have your own search page, result page, rank page, first page. Not only appear on the first page, but you can own that first page on iNodal. And the other reason we do that, because your advertising contribution helps us further develop the research um, engine, but you'll never lose it. We're not going to research. We're not going to improve iNodal so much that you lose your keyword that you reserved. As long as you reserve your keyword, that will stay. And as iNodal becomes more and more of a resource and a research search option for users online, you will get more and more and more traffic, targeted traffic, seeing your offer because it'll be right there. You don't have to. Can you compare it? How much it would cost you to get that same treatment on a Google, for example? I mean, that is incredible exposure to have, that you can just own it right outright by ordering that from inodal.com. So that's a great tip. It doesn't matter how much traffic that you'll get from it, especially in the beginning, because at least you own that traffic. That's, whatever it is. If it's 10 visits a month, if it's 100, if it's 1,000, it doesn't matter, because whatever searches happen for your keyword, your offer is getting presented. And that is all that matters. You have super targeted traffic that didn't have to deal with leaving the search engine to go to you or anything. They were there super engaged in looking for information about your niche and your product, and they watched your video, they read your text, they looked at your resources, because you can add resources, which is what we want you to do. Add your PDFs, informational sheets, fact sheets, infographics. You want to add all of those things in that a person can go in and look through that and look your product over well, and then hit that click button. That's the best option that I can imagine possible. Having your landing page on the search engine itself. That's what you can do with inodal.com. Other than that, you have traffic multiplex, which will multiply your efforts in SEO, whatever you want to do, and get more organic traffic to your website. By the way, traffic multiplex also leverages on iNodal. So even if you get the regular links and I'll get your website indexed, what you're doing is actually putting in your URLs into the traffic multiplex network. And other people, virtual assistants and whatnot, will be picking that up and promoting that throughout the web on a daily basis. So that's a great idea for you guys also on another way to really get organic traffic optimization, not the one-time offer OTO, but organic traffic optimization. That's what we'll be talking about in a future video. Okay, so I hope I've answered your question. What is SEO? Why is it important, if it is to you? And how you don't actually really need it. There's ways to work around it, as I have done for my own business. And you don't need the SEO at all. You just need people to come and buy your stuff. That's what I specialize in. That's why I created Traffic Multiplex and iNodal. Both of these options just brings people to buy your stuff. SEO or without. Take care. I'd rather have people buy my stuff. Have a good one. This is Reverend Dr. Gilberto Rosado for Traffic Multiplex and I know.com. Take care.